Hey everyone, it's Adam here again, and we are now on to day 22 of our devotionals on the book of Proverbs. So therefore, obviously, we're on Proverbs 22, and as many people have said, this is just again another Proverbs. It's just full of so much stuff, full of so much gold, and we could really probably spend a full month just looking at each chapter on its own. So really get into that, really take time out to read it, to meditate over it. But I'm just going to pick out a few verses that really spoke to me when I was looking at this. And right from the beginning, there was a great reminder of us in verse 2 that the rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. When God created us, He created every single one of us. There's no separating us in the eyes of God, whether we're rich or poor. The Lord made us, and I think we need to remember that when we're going out, when we're talking to people, when we're meeting people, that the Lord has made them in His image. Some people are yet to really recognise that. Some people are yet to meet Him. But we need to love everyone the same, love unconditionally, just as He loves us unconditionally. Then verse 6, and this is something that I don't have as such, but working in education is something that I really try to encourage people to do, and I try to do my job through this as well, and it's start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old they will not turn from it. Now obviously in this sense, if you've got children, you want them to grow up knowing God, and you want them to have a firm foundation in that, so that when they're older that will not be shaken, they will not turn away from that. But for some of us, it's just teaching our children about respect, about humility, about loving others, about loving themselves as well. And I think we all have a responsibility of sharing what God can do for them in their life, but making it so real, making it so relevant that they just get hold of it, that they can't run away from it. Those seeds that we plant, whether it be in schools, whether it be in our Sunday schools, whether it be in your family homes, you don't know when those seeds are going to flourish. It might be something later on down the life because, I remember when so-and-so told me about God when I was younger. I can finally see that now in my life. So I encourage you really just to encourage young people today. In this world that we live in, there's probably only going to get crazier for them, the generation that's been brought up during these times. Let's really encourage them to know God, so that when they're older, it will be Him that they would cling to, that they would not turn away from that. And the next parts that I want to turn to are towards the end of this chapter, from verse 17 onwards, and it's the 30 sayings of the wise. I know someone's going to pick up probably from a lot of these tomorrow, but in this chapter we see the first 6 sayings, and all of this full chapter, it's based around discipline and how we can grow from that. And I think that's key no matter what walk of life we're on. If we want to grow in anything, we have to be disciplined, and we have to choose to discipline ourselves to grow. And we have to be disciplined in our lives, in the way that we act, in the areas that we go into. I just want to pick up on a couple of points here. The second saying that we have, which is found in verse 22, do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court, for the Lord will take up their case and will exact life for life. As I've mentioned before, we're called to love everyone unconditionally. If you come across poor people, now that doesn't necessarily mean in finance. That can mean someone that's just generally just not as well off as what you are. Actually, we are to treat them with the same love that we would treat anyone else. That we need to love on them, we need to care for them. I'm blessed to be part of a church where our aim is to love God and to love people. And we really try and live that out. We don't get it right all the time. I don't get it right all the time in my life. But it's something that I'm trying to aim for time and time again. And there's that old niche saying of, what would Jesus do in that situation? When we see it time and time again, how Jesus forgets what the person's job is. For example, with Zacharias, with the tax collector, he forgets what his job is, but actually he sees the person, he sees the heart. We need to look beyond that first initial impression. We need to see the person in there. We need to see the heart in that person. Love on them, care for them, share God's compassion with them. And it goes on to the third saying, and this is one that, for those of you that do know me, I've had to work on quite a lot, and I still have to work on it quite a lot now. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. You know, when I was young, I used to be quite hot-tempered, especially when it came to kind of sports on football pitches. If someone just ticked me off the wrong way, I would just snap. I just couldn't control it. And even now, I just need to learn to bite my tongue, to sometimes walk away. But I think we need to be disciplined in this area of our lives. We need to choose who we go into conversation with. We need to choose where we go. You know, if you know you're going to walk into a group of people that aren't going to do you good, they're going to bring you down, they're going to bring negativity, be disciplined enough to say, no, I'm not being part of that. That might be in your workplace, for example. It might be known that if people are having conversations that you don't agree with, you have two options in that. But you have three options. You either join in with it, and that'll bring you down. Two, you either speak into that and speak up for what your beliefs in, or you choose, actually, no, I'm going to walk away. And sometimes that walk away can be the greatest witness that you possibly can be. Because then people ask questions, but why did you walk away? And then that leads open doors for you to explain and to share. You know, surround yourself with people, like-minded people that are going to build you up in your faith. Surround yourself with people that are going to share wisdom, as we've heard so many times in this series. We need to be more wise. You know, again, there's another saying of, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people that are going to build you up, that are going to encourage you? You know, people that are going to give you the answer that you need. That it might be, okay, you've messed up here, but go again. Have you thought about doing this way? It might not be the answer that you want to hear, but it's the answer that you need to grow and develop. You know, I said there's just so much in here. I'm sat looking at some of my notes, and there's so much we could go through. But those are the key things I've pointed out. You know, love unconditionally. Make sure you surround yourself with good people that are going to build you up. See beyond that initial barrier and see the heart and see the person. You know, just the final point to close with. We can see this in 17, 18, and I've mentioned this nearly in every single day that I've done. Pay attention and turn your heart to the sayings of the wise. Apply your heart to what I teach, for it is pleasing when you keep them in your heart, and you have them already on your lips, so that your trust may be in the Lord. I teach you today, even you. You know, again, a lot of this comes back to where our heart is. Let's have a heart that longs to trust in the Lord. Let's have a heart that just wants to receive wisdom constantly, that wants to grow, that wants to develop, that wants to see the world around us like He does. So thank you. I hope you've got something out of this, and I'll see you next time.